I have a question for you. If you had to choose between betraying your country or betraying your friend, what choice would you make? Let me know in the comments. What this question really means and why it's relevant in this very moment globally is what we'll discuss today. Join me in this episode of The Preface, My Country or My Friend. The question I asked you comes from the English writer E.M. Forster, who said, if I had to choose between betraying my country or betraying my friend, I hope I would have the guts to betray my country. This sentiment might strike you as odd and even mildly discomforting, but Forster's question is worth pondering over. The nationalism which we have come to take as the defining emotion of social life in the past century across the world has come at a cost. Nationalism has made us less human and has suppressed our ability to focus on long-standing human relationships in service of this massive entity we know as the state. I'm not pushing you to arrive at a final answer to my question, much less egging you on to betray your country. Far from it. My intention is to think and feel with you. I think that we must revisit the emotional depth of this sentiment even as it makes our hearts pound. Is there redemption in sometimes doubling down on things like friendship over things like country? I don't know. What I do know is that we live in the age of the modern state, socially, legally, politically, and even emotionally. And here let me make a very quick point, which is to do with history. A line of thinking emerged from European Enlightenment regarding emotions. It said that emotions are private internal dispositions. What we feel belongs necessarily to the private realm. The emotions we inhabit and express are internal to us, and therefore they remain locked from what happens outside. You must have heard this. I disagree with this idea, and it's not just me. The pushback to this Enlightenment idea has come from some of the most prescient thinkers of our time, Talal Asad, Sabah Mahmood, and Ashish Nandi, to name only a few. They made it clear that our emotional lives are under the purview of the social and political realm. It is most certainly so under this strange emotional jukebox called national life, whether liberal or illiberal democracies, monarchies or oligarchies. We are made part of an emotional consensus. The consensus is that our feelings for country must always triumph our feelings for friendship. I don't think I need to run through examples of how we are made to participate in such a consensus. After all, how many movies, books, speeches can you think of in which the righteous thing to do for a protagonist, a hero, is to choose country over friendship? That script is rarely, if ever, reversed. On much fewer occasions in movies, the heroic thing to do is to fight tooth and nail to protect friend over country. Beyond the movies, even a cursory glance at how emotions are weaponized in national politics reveals the same script. How many times, as in a recent incident, is it considered admirable to expel, through a cold-hearted press release, 2 9-year-olds undergoing life-saving surgery? Why? Because they belong to an enemy country. And this decision is hailed for its moral glory, precisely because it puts supposedly national concern over human empathy. The point is that you and I are being drowned in an emotional consensus mediated by states. Occasionally, it is worth puncturing that consensus. There's also another way to think of it. We are made so precisely aware of the borders of the state we live in and the ones in which we do not. But why are we to remain anxious only about a certain kind of a border, which is to say, the borders of a country? I do wonder what becomes of other kinds of borders that we must guard, like the borders of the territory of friendship. If the state asks us to defend its borders at all costs, then shall we not defend the borders of friendship, love, pain, with the same dedication? To defend the borders of friendship is to also defend a kind of sovereign territory. And it is no easy affair. The French philosopher Jacques Derrida made this very point while telling us that a friend, after all, is always within the reach of inflicting a deep wound. It is this delicate thrill of treachery that sustains the intimacy of a friend. In fact, friendship between communities is also not without its contradictions. It can be submerged in perilous intimacies, a point made very well in a recent book by Dr. Sher Ali Tareen by the same title on Hindu-Muslim friendship in colonial India. I'll have the links to these works in the comments. My takeaway from these, in a sense, is that we pursue friendships not despite, but because of the contradictions it opens up for us. Friendship is not, and has never been, an easy territory to defend. Anyone who has experienced betrayal at the hands of a friend can relate to its power over us, the deep scar it can leave on a deserted heart, the yearning to forgive, the echoes of a friend's absence. You have felt all of it. And yet, we have come to exist at a time when friendships and enmity seem to have become matters of national welfare. There is an attempt to make us much more articulate as obedient citizens and much less concerned over being a good friend. A foundational desperation of modern states is that its citizens just might venture to create their own borders, ones that don't fit on a map. Then, in this global moment, it becomes all the more important to sit with the question with which I began. In a choice between betraying friend or betraying country, what choice will you make? Forrester hoped that his country will have it in her to forgive him. Tell me, what would you do? And now for today's line of poetry, we turn to the Urdu poet Ahmad Mushtaq, who said, मिल ही जाएगा कभी दिल को यकीन रहता है वो इसी शहर की गलियों में कहीं रहता है जिसकी सांसों से महकते थे दरो बाम तेरे जिसकी सांसों से महकते थे दरो बाम तेरे ऐ मकां बोल कहाँ अब वो मकीन है